Okay, the audio okay? Everything good? Okay. 我觉得他们会 extend 那个 period lockdown period for another like another weeks，所以我们应该要做很久下这一个
很闷了嘞，在家里。
还很闷了是，一直 trap 在里面。Need at least I think at least 1 month 啦 ，not sure 啦。Another 2 weeks， 不知道啦，看他们怎样 announce 啦。希望不会太久。等一下，我学我的什么？Okay, 我们看example 2. Just now I've shown you example 1, then example 2. Still elastic collision. Okay. Okay, now example 2. Let's say object A and object B is moving towards each other. Okay, object A move to the right at 10 meters per second. And object B, instead of moving to the right, it moves to the left 5 ms minus 1. What happens when they collide? If I say after collide, object A move backwards at 2 ms minus 1, then what is the velocity of object B? This one. Okay, so first you have to know this is an elastic collision. Okay, so elastic collision, still you use the same formula. M1 U1 plus M2 U2 equal M1 V1 plus M2 V2. Okay, so M1 5 kg, so U1 is 10. Now since 你看到这里有不同 direction 的 velocity 啊，所以这个要注意啊。如果你有不同 direction 的 velocity, first you have to assign the sign. Means that I take the direction to the right as positive. Okay, so any velocity that is moving to the right, I'll take it as positive. Any velocity that is moving to the left, then that is the negative velocity. Okay, we cannot combine everything together. We have to assign the sign first, right? So 10 is positive. 10 ms plus 1. This one is positive. So positive 10 plus M2 is 3 kg. U2 moving to the left. So this is negative. So that's why I put negative 5 here. Okay, so remember this negative. If you didn't put this negative, then the whole thing wrong already lah. Okay, so many minor mistakes is because of the sign. So just be careful with the sign. Okay, equal to M1 after collision. M1 still 5 kg. Now after collision, A moves to the left. So this one becomes negative. Negative 2 plus M2 3 kg and V we don't know the sign. Okay, so we just put V unknown because we want to calculate that one. Okay, so this one 50减15 equals to 减10 plus 3V V2. Okay, V2. And if you calculate, if you put 搬来搬去, then you get 45 equals to 3v2. Okay, so v2 equals to 15 ms minus 1. So this is your answer. Now notice that your final answer is a positive value. Is a positive value means that your object B after collision must be moving to the right. Okay, moving to the right because it is a positive value. That's it. That's how you find the V. Okay, using the same formula. Okay, so the point is when you have different direction of velocity, just assign the sign. Okay, this one very important. This one. Okay, how we look at the last part, which is in elastic collision. So done with elastic collision. Remember the keyword in elastic collision, object moves separately. Okay, momentum is conserved, meaning that total momentum before equals to after, and also kinetic energy is conserved, meaning that the kinetic energy is not lost to the surrounding. It is kept inside the system. Okay, even after the collision. Okay, now we'll take a look at more detail the kinetic energy in the elastic collision, the following collision. Okay, now this one. Okay, one typical example. The famous example of inelastic collision is two billiard balls colliding together. Okay, I use black. Okay, now let's say object A moving to the right, object B, V1, V2. Okay, so after collision, they both move together, right? In elastic collision means that they both move together, meaning that both of the object, they share the same final velocity. They share the same velocity. 刚才在那个 elastic 是各有各的 velocity after collision, but in this case, 两个 object share the same velocity, right? So same momentum is also conserved in this case. Total momentum, total momentum is still conserved. Okay, but slightly different way to write it. For example, total momentum before. Let's say this is m1, and this one we change to u because initial velocity we take u1, initial before collision. Okay, and this is m2, this is u2. Now after collision, this one is m1, m2, and they have the same v. So how do we write it? Total momentum before collision is m1 u1, okay, mass time velocity, momentum, plus m2 u2 equal, since they share the same velocity, so we write m1 v plus m2v. So this one we can factor out the v, meaning m1 plus m2 bracket v. Okay, so m1 u1 plus. So this is your equation of momentum for inelastic collision. Okay, share the same velocity. Now, 在 inelastic collision 里面是 kinetic energy is not conserved. What does it mean? Kinetic energy is not conserved. Now, let's say 我们讲回那个 Newton's cradle, the pendulum, all right? Pendulum. So initially, the pendulum is actually made of stainless steel. 它的 material 它是用 stainless steel 做成这个球的material, right? So 如果你放那个 pendulum, you leave it here 10 meter, not 10 cm, 10 meter, unrealistic. Okay, 10 cm, and you let go. Okay, it knocks here, and then this one, the end here, also rise up to 10 cm. Okay, 在这个情况下是我们讲 kinetic energy is conserved. Okay, kinetic energy is conserved. Okay, so always remember, conserve 这个字 means no loss, no loss of energy. Okay, the total energy in the system is still same. So 为什么我会这样讲？因为你看这个 ball A, okay, let's say the end here, this is ball A, and ball B is the end here. Ball B will reach the same height, which is 10 cm. It will reach the same height as the ball A, meaning that ball B is having the same speed as ball A. Right? So kinetic energy is also equivalent to speed, right? So when there is no loss of kinetic energy, means there is no loss of speed. Okay, which is why ball B will reach the same height. This is an example of kinetic energy is conserved. How about if I say kinetic energy is not conserved? Let's say you have the same cradle, same pendulum, but this time, instead of stainless steel, let's say this one is made of clay. Okay, let's say it's made of clay, right? Now, if you leave one here, let go here, and then it knocks this one, the last ball that sticks out, right, it won't be as high as the initial height. Let's say the initial height is 10 cm. The last one, the height only reaches, for example, 2 cm. Okay, so you see that there is a loss of speed here. There is a loss of speed, means that there is a loss of kinetic energy. Okay, or we can say kinetic energy not conserved. Kinetic energy is not conserved, so there is a loss of speed. Loss of speed. Okay, so we can say that kinetic and when kinetic energy is not conserved, means that it is an inelastic collision. Okay, so this one is an example of inelastic. Okay, so inelastic, remember, inelastic means that kinetic energy is not conserved, so there is a loss of kinetic energy outside of the system. Okay, that is the main difference between the elastic. Okay, but the momentum is still conserved in both types. Okay, 我不管是 inelastic 或者 elastic, momentum 一定是 total momentum before 一定是 equals to total momentum after, provided there is no external forces like friction force. Okay, so remember this one. All right, I show you another example, then I think probably that's it lah. Okay. Wait. Okay. No question 啊。Any question just let me know 啊。一定要跟我讲啊，一定要跟我讲哪里不明白啊，哪里老师那里需要讲多一点啊，这样子。OK。Okay. Let's take a look at example calculation. Yeah. Okay, 比如说I have 2 trolley. 这个就是 online 的不好，很麻烦。Okay, I have 2 trolley, then after they collide, they move together. Okay, let's say initial trolley M1. This one is moving at 1 ms minus 1. And this one is moving at 0.8. Okay, after they collide, what is the velocity they are moving at? If I say all the trolley has the same mass, and the mass equals to 2 kg, calculate the velocity. Okay, now first you have to determine, is this an elastic collision or inelastic? So if you see the object moves together, means that it is inelastic collision. Okay, so there is a loss of kinetic energy, but the momentum is still the same, total momentum. So we use m1u1 plus m2u2 等于 inelastic 是什么 m1 加 m2 they share the same velocity. Okay, share the same velocity. So calculate now. 2 kg. Okay, first all velocity is acting at the same direction. All velocity acting to the right. So we don't need to worry about the sign. All are positive. Okay, so u1 is this one, the first object. So 2, 1 plus m2 2 u2 this one 0.8 equals to m1 加 m2 就是4啦，然后 v. Okay, then you find v 啦，3.6 equals to 4v. 0.9 ms minus 1. So this is the final velocity of both trolleys are moving at 0.9 meters per second. Okay, so 如果我跟你讲如果 the question asks state 1 after the calculation, then the question asks you state 1 assumption in your calculation. Then what is the assumption? What is the thing that you assume when you do the calculation? Okay, assumption means that now in order to do this calculation, to use this formula, what is the criteria? Remember, what is the criteria if I want to use this principal conservation of momentum? This is the again, what is the criteria of principal conservation of momentum? If I say total momentum before equals total momentum after, only if there is no friction, there is no external forces. Okay, so your answer should be the sum of external forces acting on the system is 0. Okay, what does this mean again? The sum of external forces acting on a system. A system is means this scenario lah. This whole thing, we call it as a system. This scenario, right? This event. Okay, so the sum of external forces acting should be 0. 为什么我会这样讲呢？为什么我不要讲 there is no external force？ 这个跟这个有什么分别？ The sum of external forces is 0 or no external forces 有什么分别呢？这两个 ？OK， 记得我们不可以写 no external forces 在你的那种考试啦，不可以这样子直接写。OK， 为什么？因为在每一个 system 里面是它一定会有 external forces 的，比如说 gravity。OK，external forces 就是 forces coming from the outside，alright？ Forces coming outside forces that influence the system. Okay, it could be gravity, it could be friction. Alright, so gravity is always acting on every object on the planet. So we cannot avoid it. We cannot avoid this external force. Okay, we can only say the sum of external forces acting is 0. Why? Because let's say a trolley here. The external forces acting it is the gravity down. Okay, now there is actually another force which you will learn later. Okay, not in this chapter, but I'll explain a little bit about it. Okay, whenever you have one direction of force act, gravity, you see this trolley is on the ground, right? So the ground also acts another force. This one we call the normal force. Normal. Okay, so this normal force is actually equal to the gravitational force. It is equal to the gravity, right? Meaning that this normal force will cancel out the gravity. Balance forces. It will balance out the gravity force. Okay, so which is why it is better, or it is a proper way to say the sum of external forces. Meaning that if you take the gravitational force plus the normal force, okay, you will get a 0. Okay, 什么意思？就是 let's say the gravitational forces is positive g, acting downwards. Okay, meaning that if I take downward direction as positive, then the g gravitational forces is a positive force, and the normal force, since it is acting upward, so it is a negative force. So if I plus these two forces together, positive plus negative, then I will get 0. Okay, in other words, we can say that the external forces are balanced. So it is wiser to say that the sum of external forces acting on the system is 0, right? Okay. Any question? If no question, then I'll give you exercise. 有问题吗？
我没有。
没有。
没有啊。OK， 你们给我3分钟这样子，我拍那个 exercise 给你们。 OK，我会 send 那个exercise 去那个 group WhatsApp group，对。Okay, I have also sent the solution in the group. You can just look. The solution comes with the explanation. OK，你们可以开始做，有问题你们可以问了。 Okay, student, I think we have to relog 啊，我们要 relog，因为我这边又想讲少过1分钟，又 kick 我们 out 了。我们 relog 多一次就应该不用再 relog 了。Every 40 minutes, really, they kick out.